Let me tell you what I think should be gone. The notion that Terence Bud Crawford should move up 3 weight classes and 21 pounds to fight Canelo Alvarez for the super middleweight champion of the world. He's entirely too small. I don't give a damn what you got to do. What you don't do is stand right in front of Canelo Alvarez. That is a mistake, especially for a smaller dude moving up 2 weight classes. Now Crawford wants us to believe that he should move up 3 weight classes. I understand what this is about.
To him, he's old, he's slow, or here's another one. I already touched on, but I'll say it again, and you could get mad.
On the 13th of September, under the bright lights of Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, 2 pound-for-pound kings collide. Terence Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. It's more than a fight. It's a collision of eras, a test of will, and perhaps the biggest risk Crawford has ever taken in his career. For years, Bud has dreamed of proving he's the best fighter on the planet, no matter the weight, no matter the name. He dominated lightweight, cleaned out junior welterweight, conquered welterweight, and now he's chasing the crown of a man who has ruled at super middleweight for nearly a decade. But as historic as it sounds, there's a darker reality lurking beneath the hype. Because across from him stands Canelo Alvarez, a fighter built for 168, a man with a chin forged in wars against GGG, Kovalev, and Bivol, a fighter whose power doesn't just win fights, it ends them. Crawford is daring to cross into enemy territory, but there's a reason weight classes exist, and on fight night, every pound will feel heavier, every shot more punishing. This is the story of why Terence Crawford's hunger for greatness might lead him into the one battle he'll come to regret.
If 12 rounds, Crawford win, I think.
Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, what do you think about that fight if they did fight? Looks like it's up for September.
Good fight. You know, if 168 pounds, I think it's Canelo, but it's Canelo better technique because 50-50. If 12 rounds, Crawford win, I think. If knockout, it's Canelo.
What makes Crawford so difficult to fight against?
He has power, smart, in more practical.
It's hard to remember the last time boxing felt this big. The world isn't just watching, it's holding its breath. Netflix is broadcasting the event globally. Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders, is bracing for a sold-out crowd of 65,000 screaming fans. The atmosphere is already being called the closest thing to Mayweather-Pacquiao that this generation has seen.
Doing a lot of touching.
Well, you don't move up 2 weight classes to fight someone like this, and you've been calling out forever, if you don't see a path to victory, you don't see holes in his game. What areas do you think you're better than Canelo, and how do you see yourself beating him?
Well, listen, I called Canelo out because, like I said, he the last great fighter amongst the era that surpassed us. You know, the Floyd, the Pacquiao, the De La Hoya. We both came up in that era, and he was right there with those fighters, and he got the chance to fight the Miguel Cottos, the Floyd Mayweathers, and you know, the Kovalevs and Triple Gs, and I wasn't able to get those mega fights, you know, so this is my mega fight, this is my moment, and that's the reason why I want to fight an all-time great like Canelo.
Hey, Canelo, you were...
For Crawford, this isn't just another payday. It's a mission he's been chasing for years. He's conquered division after division, silenced doubters every step of the way, and built a reputation as one of the most complete fighters in the sport.
You know, Canelo and Jamel is fighting. I wanted to fight Jamel next since he was the 154-pound undisputed champion, but as you know, they're going to strip him for his belt once the bell rings. Now I didn't shift gears because I know I wanted to fight Jamel, But if he lose to Canelo, I always said, man, that's a big step. That's a big step. But for a person to go up 3 weight classes from 147 to 168 and to win and become undisputed, wow. What can they say? They can't say nothing right now, but what can they say?
You want to go up to 68.
So he beat Charlo, Terence Crawford, Canelo. That's the biggest fight in boxing.
But deep down, he knows that to cement his place among the all-time greats, he needs a fight like this, a showdown with boxing's biggest superstar. And for Canelo, this is about defending his throne. Critics have whispered that he's slowing down, that he's vulnerable after the Bivol loss, that his era may be ending. But on the 13th of September, under the brightest lights imaginable, Canelo gets the chance to remind the world why he's still the king. This is history waiting to be written.
He went up from 147 to 154, and it was hard. You're telling me he's going to put up another, 12 pounds, 14 pounds, whatever it is, and he's going to fight Canelo, who's used to usually fighting around 160, 168. Like you said, I will give you, Terence Crawford could be an anomaly. He can, because he's that good of a boxer. But we can't forget, Canelo has been in the sport just as long, if not longer. And he's been doing it at a very high level.
Some could argue just as skilled.
Exactly.
And that's why I think he really, in reality, it could go either way. I don't think this fight ends in a knockout.
Same.
This fight is happening at 168 pounds, Canelo's backyard. Crawford has spent most of his career at 147. That's a full 2 weight classes higher. And if we're being real, probably closer to 3.
Jamel was undisputed at 154, and Canelo hit him, and Jamel was like, hell no, Jamel took a knee, so it's a big difference. And Crawford had that one fight at 154, and he didn't, Madrimov would touch him up a little bit. And this is nowhere close to Madrimov. You talk about Canelo. Now, if it was just another bigger guy, I would go with Crawford. But you talk about this might be, people might kill me for it, but not really, but this might be the best Mexican fighter ever. One of them, at least, right? You talk about Canelo and Crawford going up against him. So the only thing they have, but I would say the only thing he has going for him is he's a skillful fighter, and Canelo is older, but so is Crawford too. I think Crawford is 37, 38, something like that. Canelo's 36. So they both are older right now. But man, I don't personally see it. Now, a lot of people see that Crawford can beat Canelo. It's just like that punch resistance is something else. They make weight classes for a reason. If he could beat him, man, I think he on the Mount Rushmore of fighters if Crawford can pull this off. But I don't see it.
Canelo doesn't just make 168, he owns it. He walks around at 180 plus pounds, cuts down, and rehydrates back up by fight night. He's fought and beaten light heavyweights like Sergey Kovalev. He's carried that power against bigger men. Crawford? He's never faced anyone close to that size. Even if he bulks up, he won't walk in heavier than maybe 160 on fight night. That's at least a 15 to 20 pound disadvantage against a man who specializes in body shots designed to break down bigger opponents.
The others say, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, So I think, if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he's still got that kind of steam. But, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out, you know what I mean? So
Ryan Garcia explained it perfectly. He said Crawford will land shots, he'll even look sharp early, but those punches won't move Canelo. They'll bounce off. And when your best shots don't make your opponent flinch, that's when doubt creeps in. Brian Mendoza echoed the same thing. He said you have to respect the bigger man's power because under the lights, size and strength matter. Mendoza put it bluntly, Crawford might be the better fighter, but Canelo's weight and power could be the difference. This is why boxing has weight classes, because as much as skill matters, when you're giving up 15 to 20 pounds to a natural super middleweight with knockout power, it's an uphill battle.
You know what's crazy is I'm a big Crawford fan as well. Like every time he sees me and my brothers and my dad at fights, he comes out of his way, shakes our hand. It's all respect. But I just feel the weight's a little too much, Marcos. I feel going up 2 weight classes, really like 3. And early, I feel Terence will have great success. I mean, maybe he'll get Canelo's head snap back or, catch Canelo early. Maybe I could see Terence Crawford go southpaw because you see Canelo has had a bit of problems with southpaws. You could see Canelo, I could see him getting frustrated, picking him up like how he does, like when he gets frustrated. But I say 6th, 7th, 8th round on up, I think he'll figure him out. And we need Canelo to get a stoppage, if not get a get a knockout. I think it'll be great for Mexico and it'll be great for Razas. But I got Canelo, coming out with the victory.
And it's not just size, it's experience. Canelo Alvarez isn't some one-dimensional slugger. He's a 4-division world champion with one of the most impressive resumes in boxing. He shared the ring with Floyd Mayweather, Gennady Golovkin, Miguel Cotto, Sergey Kovalev, Dmitry Bivol. He's seen every style, slick movers, counterpunchers, heavy punchers, and he's adapted. Canelo's defense is underrated. His head movement, his ability to roll with shots, his patience to wait for openings, it's elite. Ryan Garcia said it himself, Canelo absorbs punches that would wobble other fighters, and he keeps coming forward. Add to that his timing. His ability to slip a jab and rip a counter left hook to the body is one of the most lethal weapons in boxing. Against a smaller man like Crawford, those shots could be fight-ending.
Canelo Crawford coming up September. What do you think about that fight?
Canelo has advantage because Crawford moving up, but my advice to Crawford is like maintain the speed, improve the speed, and improve the strength. Because it's hard to go up in high weight and maintain your speed. So speed is the key. Like so he should focus on speed, footwork, and improve the power.
And here's the scary part. Canelo's not slowing down. He recently said, "No boxing, no life. I love what I do, and boxing has made me the person I am today." That's not a man coasting. That's a man hungry to prove he's still the face of the sport.
What is there to talk about? You fighting the best fighter in the world. You better be taking it serious. That goes to show, how serious he's taking me and how much he respects me. Because, if I haven't fought anyone, if I was too small, if I was, all these things that all the media said I was, then he wouldn't need these guys to help prepare him to fight me. He wouldn't, need all the help that, he's getting. But I'm happy that he's getting the help that he needs because, after, September 13th, there'll be no excuses.
Now, don't get it twisted. Terence Crawford isn't showing up to be a victim. If there's one thing Bud has, it's that killer mindset.
I know he's a good fighter, but this is just different.
A great fighter.
You see what happened when a good fighter jump up and his opponent is great fighter. So you're gonna find out.
So that means you're a good fighter, and Bivol is a great fighter. Is you a good fighter or a great fighter? Let me know.
I'm a great fighter.
So you got your ass whooped by a good fighter, right?
You're a good fighter.
Well, every time you stepped up, you lost. Great fighter.
I'm not.
He doesn't just fight to win, he fights to break you. He studies opponents like a computer, downloads their style, and adapts mid-fight. That's why he's undefeated. That's why he's dismantled every champion in front of him. Crawford truly believes he has the blueprint to beat Canelo. He studied the Mayweather fight, where Floyd made Canelo miss all night. He studied the Bivol fight, where discipline and fundamentals shut Canelo down.
I don't gotta knock him out to beat him. He's never been knocked out before, but he lost fights before. So everybody, that's coming in thinking that I need a knockout to beat Canelo Alvarez is wrong. And that's not the approach that, we take in this fight. If the knockout comes, then it comes. but we're not going in there to knock him out. We're not looking for the knockout.
Terrence, you have said if you win, you feel you're on the Mount Rushmore.
I didn't say if I win.
Okay.
Said when I win.
When you win. Well, with that, what is Terence Crawford's legacy with a win over Canelo?
Listen, I already said it. I'm on that mountain. Ain't nothing left to say.
Lie. He knows he doesn't have to knock him out. He just has to control the fight for 12 rounds. And if anyone has the IQ to do it, it's Bud. But here's the catch. Belief and IQ can only carry you so far when your opponent is a tank who doesn't move when you hit him. This is where the regret comes in. Crawford is daring to be great, but there's a reason fighters don't jump up 2 weight classes at once. It's not just about adding pounds, it's about carrying those pounds into the ring without losing speed, reflexes, or stamina. If Bud slows down even a fraction, Canelo will capitalize. If Bud's punches don't sting, Canelo will walk through him. And if Bud tries to exchange, the size difference will punish him. Brian Mendoza said it best. You can spar bigger guys, but fight night is different. Under the lights, with adrenaline pumping, with Canelo cutting off the ring, those pounds will feel heavier than ever. Crawford could be walking into a trap he won't realize until it's too late.
Canelo versus Crawford coming up very soon. Who do you got for that one? How do you see it going?
It's going to be a great fight in the beginning because Crawford is a great fighter as well. I think that the size difference is going to be too much for Crawford. I think that once they start mingling and battling, I think that Canelo might be able to get Crawford. But anything can happen. I mean, Crawford can catch him on chin too. I mean, it's not like it's a for sure thing. It just seems that Canelo has speed and his power at that weight, so it's going to be hard for Crawford to do anything, I think.
So what happens if Crawford loses? That's where the real regret kicks in. Right now, Bud is undefeated. He's the undisputed welterweight king. His reputation is bulletproof. Win or lose, people respect him. But if he gets dominated by Canelo, suddenly the narrative shifts. Fans and critics will say he flew too close to the sundae. They'll argue he was unbeatable at 147, but exposed at 168 that he didn't respect the weight difference. It doesn't erase his legacy, but it stains it. Instead of being remembered as the man who dared to challenge Canelo, he could be remembered as the man who finally hit his ceiling. And for Crawford, who thrives on proving doubters wrong, that would be a hard pill to swallow.
Well, Crawford is used to fighting trucks. He's fighting a semi-truck. He's fighting a big truck now, a big truck that is not so much him hitting with a good shot, is like a perfect shot on the chin. It's just him wearing you down with his size and with the Canelo likes to punch in the arms like my guys do in my gym. He spent some time in my gym, so I'm sure he picked it up there. But once he starts hitting him, it doesn't necessarily on the chin, just hitting him, he'll wear him down. Where, as you've seen in Canelo fights, by the 5th or 6th round, it becomes a sparring match for him. He doesn't seem to want to knock anybody out. He just wants to beat you up. So I think that the strength and the size of Canelo will take its toll on Terence in the middle of the fight.
However, if the opponent has enough skill and ability, the outcome can still be reversed.
On the flip side, imagine what this fight means for Canelo. Critics have said he looked flat in recent fights. They said he's slowing down. They said his reign is nearing its end. This fight is his chance to shut all that down, to prove he's still the king, still the face of boxing, still the man who can take on any challenger and win. He's training harder than ever. He's motivated. He knows Crawford is dangerous, but he also knows that if he imposes his will, the size and experience gap will crush Bud's dream. Here's the bottom line. Terence Crawford is chasing greatness, but greatness comes with risk. He's moving up into enemy territory, facing a man bigger, stronger, and just as skilled. Crawford has the mindset, the IQ, the hunger, but weight classes exist for a reason. And if Canelo does what many expect him to do, Bud could be left with the first loss of his career.
I mean, I think Pereira, when he actually weighed into the fight, was above 220.
Yeah.
When he was inside the octagon for the fight, was above 220. Whereas you got to remember when Izzy fought Jan Blachowicz for the light heavyweight title, he was only 194.
Yeah.
I mean, Izzy's one of those guys that
he's not cutting that much weight.
He's not cutting any weight. And even when he wanted to go up to light heavyweight, he's like, I'm not cutting any weight. I'm going to fight as I fight.
Which makes sense.
The regret won't just be about losing. It'll be about what comes after. The critics, the doubters, the stain on a perfect record. And that's why, as dramatic as it sounds, this fight could be the one decision Terence Crawford regrets forever. So there it is. The hype is real. The stakes are massive. Crawford's confidence is unshakable, but the size, the weight, the power, and the experience of Canelo Alvarez? Those are mountains that might be too steep to climb. Do you think Bud's IQ is enough to shock the world? Or will Canelo's size and skill make this Crawford's biggest mistake? Drop your predictions in the comments. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to Fight Field for more. I'll catch you in the next video.